TV producers, they like to reuse old material. They like to make new versions of it. They do this all the time. Think how many different types of Batman series there have been. You know, it's kind of a time-honored thing. Cartoon Network's redone a number of series. You know, Thundercats, Scooby-Doo, Looney Tunes, that's the one we're going to be talking about today. And, but there's a reason why they redo these series. And it's a very simple, easy kind of concept. It makes money. It's easier to make money because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. People already know your character. They have the producer, the people actually writing the script have a thing that they can fall back on. You know, they can rehash old storylines from the original, and overall, it's just easier to make sales. I mean, because everybody's like, oh, I know, you know, Batman, that character's badass. I don't care if he's, you know, I don't know, got bigger ears or smaller ears, you know, I'm going to buy it. So it's easier to make sales, and it's better for the overall, it's easier for the producer to make money, which is what he is in business to do anyway, right? So, they redo shows all the time. Now, Looney Tunes is a show that they redid, and it faces a problem that all these series have, which is a lot of people want them to live up to the original, be the original. Now, oftentimes, this is not the case, that they are able to do that. They can't do it, right? So, there's always kind of an expectations game that gets played. Well, I think primarily Looney Tunes, the new version of the show, played it mediocrely well before the series was released. However, upon its release, it faced the big problem, which is a lot of people compared it to the original and just were upset that they would, you know, insult the name. Now, I tried to give this series a fair shake. The reason why this was produced, or this video is kind of late to the scene, is because I wanted to watch enough episodes. Give them a chance. Give them a chance to break through that invisible wall, right? That invisible wall of comparison. I also, I tried my best not to compare it to the original series. In fact, I tried really hard to like this show. But having said that, I kept coming back to the same problem, which is it's just not funny. It's just not a funny show. I'm watching these episodes and I just keep coming back to that. I'm not laughing. You know, if I watched almost every other rehash of an older show, there's some old humor that they bring up in a different way, but it's funny. You know what I mean? Like if it's Scooby-Doo, they'll build some kind of relationships between the characters, like they're romantic, and then they'll like make jokes about it. So it's new jokes combined with the old jokes, so it works out. But in this show, they don't do that. The jokes are kind of just old sitcom-y kind of jokes from like the 90s. In a lot of ways, I thought that this would be, it seems like it should be like a 90s reversion of a, you know, Looney Tunes show, but it isn't. It's you know, this is the, you know, post-aunts, you know, and it's an odd, I don't know, it just kind of feels old sitcom-y. You know, all the jokes are kind of like that. The other problem that it has is that, frankly, the characters and the setting, when they are kind of boring. And this is especially upsetting to me because, and let me put it this way. Animation gives you the ability to produce any kind of world you want to live in, right? You can produce virtually anything. You can make a squirrel ride a bicycle off a cliff into a bowl full of jelly. You know, you can do anything with animation. Anything. These people decide to put it in the most mundane place ever. Their entire series basis is based in suburbia. What? Why would you do that? That's a stupid idea. If we wanted to watch that, we'd watch Friends. Well, maybe not Friends, but we watch a show kind of like Friends. They're out there. There's no... That's a horrible decision, number one. The other aspect of it is that the timing is horrible for the jokes. I mean, I'm serious. The timing is off. I don't know what's going on with the production, but the timing was off. The other aspect of it is that the characters should be naturally funny, but it's like, how do I put it? they don't use the old humor, and because they are not using it, even as reference material, you know, they do that occasionally, but the point is that it just doesn't feel like it's not a Looney Tunes show at all. That's the other aspect of it. I have to say the voice actors are not bad, but it's just they don't work well together or something. Something's off with the timing. I'll go back to that. It's just the series is just off. It's not hidden right. And it's not just me saying this. If you check out virtually almost any other review on YouTube, you'll find the same thing. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to compare this to the old series. But if you were to compare the two, I'm just saying there's no question which one would be better. And I don't understand why they would try to do this if they didn't have any material. I mean, they've waited so long to do this. Part of that's because of legal reasons, as I understand it. But they waited so long to finally reproduce a series like this, to reproduce this, kind of almost legendary show, that when they finally did it, it's just a piece of crap. It's just like one of those things that hit you in the face. It's like, why would they do this? Why didn't they just redo Scooby-Doo again? Because it just would seem like a waste of time. And it seems kind of pointless to redo it at this point. Or if they were going to redo it, why didn't they keep kind of the same humor? I mean, it's kind of like the original one had a lot more slapstick. This one has a lot, virtually no slapstick. I don't know. It's like somebody was a fan of the series but decided the joke should be different or something. I don't know. It's just kind of flat. Now, having said that, I think that it's one of those series where Cartoon Network is going to try hard to keep this series alive. They're going to really push it. Because I think, as I understand it, they had to pay a lot of money, a lot of moolah, to bring back the original, which is actually on Cartoon Network at, it used to be at noon, I'm not sure if it still is. But they paid a lot of money to do it, and I think that they thought they'd have a lot more success than they're having with the series. So they'll probably try to break through with it. Now, how long will that last? I don't know. It could be a year, it could be 2 years. Hell, it could be next week that they give up. But I just don't see it with this show. I don't see it. And it's kind of upsetting, and it's, it's kind of like a Cartoon Network every once in a while fucks up really bad. And this is one of those occasions where this was a mistake. This was a mistake. You shouldn't have gone down this route. But having said that, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe next year they'll hire a new comedy team or something and it'll get really funny. But at this point, I mean, it's not entertaining. At least for me. I mean, this is all just opinion, mind you. So speaking of that, if you want to put your opinion below or whatever the fuck you want to say, put it below. You can rate, you can, you know what to do. You've heard this, subscribe, comment, rate. Yeah. Is there anything else that I want to say? This video is not funny, and I don't try to do comedy. So I say this criticism with a grain of salt. These people are, trying really hard. They're working at their jobs. It's not clicking. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they know that's true probably too, or else they would be doing better overall with the fan base. This should be a series that should be selling. And it's not, from what I understand. So, I don't know. Hopefully they figure out a way to sell it. Because I'd like to see this kind of thing continue. I'd like to see this template work. I'd like to see new versions of Looney Tunes to a certain extent. Like, I'm not particularly loyal to the original series. But I'd like to see them succeed at something. Just Cartoon Network in general. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. I think the character that they probably did worse, I guess I'll mention this real quick, is I think that they completely diminished Bugs Bunny's personality, or changed it to such an extent that he just comes off as a jerk, and I think that that's the major, character that I think a lot of people have a problem with. Now, a lot of other characters people have problems with, but that's kind of more personal. But that's the one that really bugged me, the Bugs Bunny one. Of course, he was always kind of a jerk, don't get me wrong. Anyway, subscribe, comment, rate. That's it. Have a great day. Bye.